It's Team Robbie versus Team X.
You'll go head-to-head in 3 football-related challenges right here on DR Sports.
And whoever comes out on top, you're getting flown to Turkey with one of us
We've teamed up with Antlara Dental Clinic
to get your teeth done.
out in Antalya, Turkey.
I'm talking flight, the hotel, the full procedure.
The competition is open to UK residents only.
And Lara is throwing in a 10% discount for everyone who applies.
Do not want to miss this.
Let the duels begin.
Good afternoon, people. Welcome back to DR Sports. We've got another edition of the Weekend Roundup for you, and we will be discussing today. Let's have a little flick through the old schedule. Big Ange getting sacked. Will Thomas-Frank be coming into Tottenham this week? We're talking about Portugal. Ronaldo winning another European trophy for his country. Nuno Mendes, unbelievable as well. Arsenal have gone and knocking on the door at Chelsea once again. Any rejects? We'll have Kepa, please. Also, some big transfer news, including Man City, Ait-Nouri Cherki as well, and England obviously won. Tuchel not happy, and of course predicting England versus Senegal, the friendly tomorrow night at the City Ground, I believe it is. Myself, AGT, to my left, we've got the main fella Flex. How are we?
Big up, man. There.
Good to see you, fella.
There.
And to my right, the main fella, if we're being honest, it's the
Big
Don.
up.
How are we? Good weekends?
Yeah. You know what, right? Weekend was just chilled, man. Like, the one thing is when the football season finishes, right, is you kind of get your weekends back. And I'm not used to it. So, like, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was just, like,
chilling.
resting, chilling.
Actually playing FC 25. I'm a big problem with PSG. So anyone who wants... I thought, I've seen how good they are. Let me try this. Fits my playing style. A little false nine. You know what I mean? The tight midfield. I'm wicked. Okay. And I was on my tennis thing yesterday. I don't know if you lot saw Roland Garros final yesterday.
I saw some of the final.
Me and James were messaging each other like that. Like,
Yeah, I saw some of the final. I didn't catch that
Wicked.
final, but I saw the final on with Coco Golf.
Yeah.
And I saw the game last night. That's a good game, man.
I watched that game as well.
And I also watched that England game, man. And
was not a good game.
I want those minutes of my life back because that was one of the worst games of football I've seen in a very, very long time. Andorra 1-0. I'll tell you what, they had a couple of little breakaways. Had anyone decent. And then you then watch the other games, right? You know what I mean? I watched that game last night. And Cristiano Ronaldo, man, age 40. Still doing the business, man. Age 40.
Is that on the agenda today?
Yes,
Oh,
of course
yeah,
it
right,
is.
cool.
We're going to get to that.
Good.
Breaking news literally just now from Fabrizio. Rayan Cherki, sorry, I keep getting it wrong.
Cherki. Here we go.
To Manchester City. Here we go. Deal in place, club to club after direct contact. 5-year deal, £35 million package with add-ons and the documents being prepared in the time before the Club World Cup. As we know, the transfer window shuts at midnight tonight for a week, doesn't it? To allow clubs to do this kind of thing, get players in for the Club World Cup.
This is crazy.
It's just, me and Dor spoke about it on Hot Topics this morning. It's a farce. We're watching the rules just change in front of
It's
us
literally
every
to help
single
for
year.
that tournament.
Of course.
Yeah, I
which
know,
is more
but the
money.
thing is, right?
So it's not going to be like that every year, is it?
tournament, But why does it close and then open again next week, Monday? That's the bit I don't understand.
And
When the
teams
tournament's
that
already
aren't
on
in it as
still.
well.
Oh, yeah, so they can still sign players when they're there. It's going to reopen again in a week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
So what was the point?
To be honest, you can still book medicals in, you can still do all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
you just
holding
can't
the shirt up,
formalise the
signing
it's
the
done.
deal.
This is
all
why
of
you've
that
seen.
stuff. That's Euros, by the way. Euros.
That's why you've seen City and Chelsea really pushing to get players in early because obviously they want those players to play in the Club World Cup. Cherki, great bit of business.
35 million euros.
35 million. When you consider, listen,
We're going to buy Verts for that.
We need
right?
to talk.
Yeah, we're not saying he's on the
need to
level
talk,
of Wirtz. Wirtz is obviously way ahead of him, but potentially this guy's an unbelievable player, right? For 35 million.
bargain.
The other thing, though, I've been thinking though is he going to fit City? Because if you watch him play, he's a bit of a maverick player.
Literally spoke about this
like,
today,
so, and
Pep's got something has to give.
yeah, because we
well.
and
He can't be tamed. Or it's a
Yeah.
crime against football to tame
Yeah.
what he's
and
got.
he
in
he
his
didn't
feet.
do that with Grealish, didn't he? When we look at Grealish, we think of Grealish when he went in to City, he was a maverick as well.
Yeah.
Played multiple, he had the freedom role, was brilliant at Villa, and then he was tamed.
The only thing
At
I would
City,
say
and it's
now
just not
is
been-
that works in their favour ever so slightly. It hasn't quite worked out. Like I always say, I think he's a bottle of fizzy pop. But the addition of like Doku shows a bit of a pivot. Like when it was the beginning, this was the second season, isn't it, Doku? When he first came in, remember how loads of people was waxing lyrical and saying, "Wow, this is so refreshing. This guy's just going past people. This is." out of the Pep mold. Marmoush is a bit more expressive, can play just off the front, etc. Savinho, when he started off well,
there, though.
Yeah, he started
Grealish
off
is
well and
definitely
he
going.
kind of tailored off, but he's expressive. So maybe we might see that from Pep. Because you're right, Cherki is too good of a talent as a neutral who just enjoys watching lovely footballers play. He's too big of a talent to be tamed into this systematic, methodical, robotic system of pass, move, set. You know, he wants to take people on. He wants a little nutmeg. He wants to express himself, man. And I think the reason why we love these types of players is because, unfortunately, in football, they've become a rarity.
Yeah.
When we were coming up watching football, obviously even more so your age, you know what I mean? It's like a winger or an attacking player. That's what it is. You're supposed to take someone's soul.
He's with them digs.
Wait.
And he's with them digs, bro.
You haven't that?
No, he's right though. He's right.
You've seen them man there, innit? You've seen.
Yeah, you're right.
An attacking
Bro,
man.
George Best.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Them
ultimate
man.
maverick.
That's what.
Back in the day.
George Best. Yeah, how far you going?
No, but you can take it way
No,
back.
because he was there when Pele. He's been
Cantona-
there.
no,
Pele
but-
is famous.
Yeah, no, but
I can. I've watched loads of videos.
That's what I'm
of
saying.
George
That's what you're
Best.
supposed to do. You're supposed to
Yeah,
take
yeah,
someone's
yeah.
soul.
Express yourself.
Football is an entertainment sport. We forget this. All of a sudden now in new age football, we've got more emphasis on the guys who basically you're not good enough to play out on pitch, you can go.
Right.
So, but now we're trying to make them play football.
Yeah.
Centre backs,
The game's
you're
changed.
giving
mate.
them the ball.
Game's gone.
In fullbacks, you're going invert. You nailed it. No, attackers are supposed to be top notch, and I think Cherki could be.
No, it's a
They're
good
supposed to
signing.
be ballers,
It's a very
man.
good
But
signing.
yeah, that's they've spent a lot of money, City, and they made a lot of signings, man. Like a lot of good signings. Mamouche that's quality.
He was
player,
my signing of the season.
It's gonna be really interesting next season to watch them.
Ait-Nouri, Reinders
That's a
also
good
in.
signing, Ait-Nouri.
Again, another bit of breaking news there from Matt Law at the Telegraph. Tottenham closing in on Thomas Frank appointment. Progress made towards a positive end for Tottenham in the last 24 hours. Brentford exit fee will have to be met. And he has been there for such a long time now that I think even Brentford are like, go and fly, go and spread your wings. And it's a massive job, but we'll get into all of that. Smash that like button, get your comments in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Loads to get through today. Tanish, Thomas Frank is meh, in my opinion. Might I put forward Samuel Aladici? He did a great job with Bolton and even has relegation survival experience.
So does Ange. They survived.
True, and a bit
That's why
more.
they went down.
This is just a random one. KO, police, fire, or paramedics. Rank these in order. They're all just joint first, surely.
100%.
Come on, we're mad. Siaka says Sesko would be the perfect fit for Arsenal and score
Well, the
goals.
ambulance though, actually. Sorry.
Sorry. Going back on it.
because it's immediate, like save life.
Yeah,
Immediate.
yeah.
So
yeah.
No, police.
what to prevent?
They can save lives.
No,
as
but they
well.
don't prevent the police react. They
No, but
get
they could
called
do
when
something.
some crimes
They could
already
stop
happened.
someone from doing something.
Yeah, but they
before-
more often. I think they more often get to somewhere to stop than like
No,
stop
I
all
say
crimes
start.
happening.
Most
How we got on
important-
this?
And you're dealing with natural causes. Ambulance man have a heart. I need a thing
The most
now.
important thing in any country is law and order. That comes first. Our police.
No, but over that is your health, and no one's in control of that.
Yeah.
Anything you could have a fit everything fine, and then
Yeah, but you
something
know,
happens
your
to you.
police could put a man in a car and get him to hospital. It's ambulance, man. He didn't say doctor.
But even the fire service is doing them a disservice.
This is mad.
It's actually a good question.
What are we doing
nah,
here?
it's NHS. Nice. Like Ty says.
Like Ty said,
to the
salute to the NHS.
Yeah, the doctors, the nurses, the
Front
carers.
line.
He's right. He doesn't say the police. Well, maybe he does sometimes, but he doesn't really say the police force, the ambulance thing. You know, listen, NHS,
How we going
EMTs,
down?
Some
They're
super chat
the
that
most
from KO,
important.
by the way. That might
but all the emergency
be in the top
services,
5
big
today.
them up.
Big them all up. Yeah? Don't forget it. Big them all up. Sesko, back to Saika's one. Sesko will be a perfect fit for Arsenal and score goals. He reminds me of Zlatan. He has everything that a striker needs. I said this because I watch Leipzig games week in, week out here in Germany.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's been consistent. Sir Michael Oliver gets in touch. Big up the Don for his weight loss journey in order to get Matisse's hand-me-downs just like his club.
That's actually
Yeah,
a
like Kepa.
compliment you can fit into Matisse's clothes. And then, yeah,
I'm happy with that Kepa
Marty.
signing.
it's a good signing, mate.
I'm happy
I
with
would
it.
add
Listen,
him.
with-
5
listen,
million.
£5 million for Kepa, once the most expensive keeper in the world. I think still is. I think
Alisson was...
How much was
he
Alisson?
71 mil. Alisson was
75. Yeah. All right. Second most expensive goalkeeper of all time, right? He's going to be your backup. And he had a great season last year. Let's remember, like, statistically, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League last year. 8 clean sheets. He was excellent last year. I mean, I know when he
think he had a
when
good
he
season
first
last
came
year,
in, had a dodgy time at Chelsea. Remember that time at the final where he didn't want to come off?
Yeah.
And then
And
remember
stuff
he
like
missed the pen to lose Chelsea the cup final
But
as well.
since then, you know what I mean? Experienced player, 30. He's been on loan at Real Madrid, right? For £5 million.
Backup keeper.
Oh,
And
come
listen,
on, man.
people
That's-
forget that
that's
they're all
great
Spanish
business.
man as well in there. There's all be blessed. It's
Spanish
just-
guys.
Listen,
like,
man.
And to
5
me,
mil, calm.
right,
good signing.
you know, I just think it's a good signing.
surprised
And
Kepa
at
took it.
5 million, use that. Listen, they were going to get that Joan Garcia. That'd have been about 25 million, yeah, as the backup. Now you got 20 million to use on other targets. That's how I look on it as well.
I think
it's a great signing.
Since he got signed for
Premier League
mega
ready.
fees at Chelsea, he came with such an amazing reputation. And I think over the years, his reputation has fallen down to a point where he has to go on loan to build it back up. Gets this Bournemouth move, he builds it back up. But you wouldn't trust him as your number one. He will play a couple of games in the Cups and maybe Champions League if
Hey,
you're
for
already
Bournemouth
fine
all
for
last
5 million.
season,
But
didn't
what
he?
I'm saying is, I remember being with Doyle. We played Bournemouth at home last year. And Bournemouth they scored an offside goal. We were really under the cosh. And about 30 minutes in, everything seems to be under control for Bournemouth. And he runs out, takes someone out, penalty. And then 4 minutes later, passes it to someone. And it's 2-0, bang, bang, 5 minutes. I still think he's got that gene in him. Where he
has
can
got
just
it.
like...
Yeah,
That's why he's
you're
not
right.
number one. That's
think.
why he's 5 million.
Do you remember Spurs when he took down Son? They were in control of the game.
yeah.
That's
Does
true.
that, bang.
That's true.
He's lost
And
his
then
head,
also, I
just made a
remember,
mistake, cost you the game.
against us, man, he made a load of brilliant saves.
Same at
You know
Man
what I
United as
mean?
well.
He's a
When
decent
he
shot
packed us in
stopper.
3-0, he made better.
You
But
are-
I just think
you are right.
sometimes
Listen,
he's
that's-
very erratic.
Yeah, and that's why he's not made it right at the very top. But as a backup goalkeeper, I think it's a great signing.
Yeah.
As
This
a
is why he's
backup
gone from this
goalkeeper,
is
yeah.
why
5 million.
This is why he's gone from 70 million to 5 million and backup.
It's almost
because
like
he's not
you've
he's
had
not the
a-
guy he was supposed
Yeah.
to turn out to be.
Well, that's what I mean,
But
each
there's
year.
still a role for him to play. And actually, listen, I know we can do the Arsenal banter thing because they're meant at this point they're supposed to be announcing Zubimendi, they're supposed to be announcing Sesko, and it's like we got Kepa for 5 million. It's typical Arsenal, Chelsea reject thing, all that. But actually, when I look at that without being biased, if I'm honest, it's a smart bit of business.
Yeah.
It's a smart bit of business. 5 million. He knows London. He knows the league. It's fine. They're all Spanish. Like, they get on well. If you need him to fill in here and there, give Ray a rest, he can do that. He's not wicked. I'm looking at that as a United fan. Listen, United fans can say what
Would
they
you
want.
have
and
taken
that.
him?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's better than Onana.
Just.
Yeah, it
Just.
doesn't matter. He's better.
Just.
Most keepers are better than Onana.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
was
you're
thinking,
probably
and you know,
better
but
in
you know
goal.
the only reason why I'm saying that? It's not that he was my number one target or anything like that. I'm just saying, because we got so much to fix, and I really want
It
to
would
keep
have been a
fixed.
quick
just
little
5 mil, just
plaster.
we have to stay plaster. We have to
Plaster.
just put a little plaster over that. So for 5 million, just for a season, while we focus up that end of the pitch and get some proper
Okay.
man.
No,
I'd
his
have taken
stats for last season were excellent.
he was good.
He had a
Yeah.
great season for Bournemouth. They had a great season. He was like in goal for the whole, literally all of it.
I can just never forget when he was giving it that to
yeah, no, I know
Sarri,
that.
saying
That was
I'm
a
not
long
coming
time
off.
ago, though, isn't it? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
2019, I think.
to me, great bit of business by Arsenal. Makes perfect sense. So
Arsenal fans.
with it.
Trevon says there, no
In
way,
the
you're waffling now, Fletch. There's no way we're taking this guy at United. Would you rather, United fans, would you rather, I know that the answer could be neither, I'd rather go and buy some, but 5 million, we're trying to get Gyökeres, we're trying to get Mbeumo over the line, spend big P's on scoring. If you could replace Andre Onana, yeah, with Kepa, just for a season, for a light 5 M's and still get the top end of the pitch done, would you rather keep Onana or get Kepa for 5 million?
It's a good question.
Also, look at it. Number 2s that are going to be better than him. I mean, Keller would have said.
Oh, yeah.
But now he's moved on. But
He's a number one, though, isn't he?
Number
Yeah.
2s,
Yeah, no,
he's a
love
number
that
one.
boy,
Yeah, he's
man.
a
Number
love
2s that would be better than him. Not many in it going to be in it I can think of that's going to be in the Premier
Yeah,
League.
because when you think of the current market as well, name me 5
Yeah.
options.
The number 2, what's the number 2 at City?
Scott Carson's just left. He was the number 6.
Oh, he
Probably.
didn't get another
No,
renewal.
What's number 2 again?
Ortega. Yeah,
Ortega.
he's up there.
He's
He's up
good.
there.
I think Kepa's
He's up there.
as good as Ortega.
Chesney at Barca.
Chesney's a good number 2. He filled in well for them.
We've got Bayern there.
Got a new contract.
Bayern there.
Yeah, he's-
Come on now. I
he's
think
balling.
Kepa's better than Bayern.
as well. Man United fans, sometimes we're just idiots.
No,
Like,
I'll
I
take
don't-
him, man.
Sometimes.
Oh, Nana's fucking... Sorry.
Fraser Forster.
All the time.
Nana's taking me back to... Oh, Nana's throwing the thing in the net. Nana's doing I've been there. Enough games.
I said to,
Dashing the ball in the...
I remember Onana, yeah.
Oh, you don't want Kepa for 5 million just to
I remember
stabilise.
Onana, first game of last season. Remember that Wolves? We come out, punched the man in the
Got
head.
away with
He
it.
got
How
away
did
with
he
that
get
game.
away with that?
And I was just like, yo, man.
And didn't Xerxes
what's wrong
score
with
and
this
you
guy?
won 1-0?
No, that was
Fulham?
Fulham. That was a different.
That's why he made a howler.
No,
in
he
that
did
game
the same
as well.
thing again and gave away a pen against... Forest, no, Burnley.
And do you remember his positioning for when Salah finished in September?
Mate, his positioning, Gibbs White.
When he was doing that as well to
Everyone's-
Haaland in the preseason. You knew what was coming at that point.
I'm happy with that.
But he's better than Kepa.
I'm happy with
Yeah,
Kepa.
Ortega's up there. Chesney, Kelleher is now number one.
in the Premier League.
There's
though.
not many. You're right.
Yeah.
It's a decent option.
It's a good number 2.
Who's going to go to Bournemouth now then? They need
Dunno.
a keeper.
I saw them. Actually, did see them linked with a keeper. I can't remember his name, to be fair.
Okay.
But it's a foreign keeper.
Nice. PK Fizzy. Cherki and Ait-Nouri are the City staff Algerian. Good
Good
some
signings.
squad. I'm
Good
actually
signs. Ait-Nouri's a
I'm
quality.
actually scared about them not next season coming back. I'm
It's
not
going
gonna
to
lie.
be.
Is it going to be us two
tasty.
again? Not you. Us and City. Obviously not you.
Don't know, mate.
This is a good question.
So the older
From, what?
See, this is what he does.
No,
Start
yeah,
counting
you
his
start-
chicken.
so we're not
Obviously not
including
you, and
him.
obviously not this, and obviously not that. It was obviously
No, when
going to
it
be
comes down
PSG
to
as
it,
well.
last day.
We're
you
not
won't be
included
there.
in it.
I would right up until the end.
No,
I'd
we're
say
not
no.
included in it. You're saying?
Well, you weren't this year.
Huh? Nor were they.
Well, I think these signings.
I
they're
think for the
making
last
show a
few,
bit more ambition.
for the last 3 seasons, we've been runners up. So I mean, and now you're not even
Do you want a
including
medal?
us in as the runners up. No, but I'm not saying winning it. I said, well, you're not including us.
He's being a bit dismissive. you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Very
This
dismissive.
is serial second place here.
Okay.
Very
let me
dismissive.
phrase it this way.
Evidence would tell you they're going to come second again.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
dismissive.
But what I'm seeing from these lot on the screen right now, compared to Arsenal, right now, and it could all change.
No, yeah,
tomorrow.
right now. But it's
You
got
could get Sesko and
Well, judge it in
Rodrigo,
September,
blah,
mate.
blah,
So
blah.
you got who?
Exactly. Let's do that. Well, we'll do a video for that. We don't need to go too early, do we? It's only June. We'll do that in August, mate.
Why is it right for you to go early then?
Well, because I went early last year, I'll go even earlier this year. Liverpool going to win the league. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah,
I
mate,
can
got
say
Cheshire,
that.
the
of
defending
course.
champions.
Defend that. ELCN says, what's the panel's favourite type of bread? I actually really like these questions, these random ones.
What is these? What's up with these questions,
I
man?
know, man.
Type of bread? Sourdough.
Hardo.
Hardo bread.
Yes.
Hardo, yeah.
Yard man thing.
Brown one. I'm trying to be healthy now.
Yeah.
I like a bit of sourdough.
Bronardo.
To be fair, big up. Uncle Flex, the Roland Garros final was absolute cinema. Alcaraz paid my mortgage, says Cashley Cole. Cash.
Crazy game.
I tell you what, he's won some cash after
Longest
that
game
as
in
well.
history in Roland Garros final. Crazy.
What was it, 5 hours 20 or something?
Nah, nearly. It was like 4. Actually, was it 5 and something?
I think
Over
it was
5. I think it might have been
5:26
over
or
5.
something.
Yeah, it was really, really long. And like Sinner, just quickly, he had 3 championship points. He had
Yeah, I saw
Alcaraz
that.
down 3 championship points, and Alcaraz went on like a 6-love run into the next game as well and broke
Mentally
him.
as well, just in that moment, zero room for error, because if you make one tiny mistake, it's all
Then
over.
Sinner was down and
Tennis
out and
is
managed to
serious
get it to a
sport.
super
Amazing,
tie
isn't
break.
it?
It was
Yeah,
incredible.
tennis.
Honestly,
When
to
you
play for that
go
long as well.
when you go and watch tennis,
Yeah, you see.
you're like, oh my god,
Yeah,
these
it's
guys are
mad
like,
as well. And there's no
You ever
one-
seen- you
the thing
ever
is,
seen-
there's no mentally. It's just you. No one can bail you out. There's no
Unless you're doubles.
substitutions. Yeah, obviously doubles. You know, you can't just coach. Yeah, you shout to them quickly, but there's no half time to go and do this,
Yeah.
that, and the third. It's just you and your head
You-
and against the
yeah.
opponent.
And the thing is about it, as I said, when you go and watch a game, you don't see there's things on TV you don't see, like the spin that these guys put on serves and when they hit the ball back, the absolute spin on it. They're so good. They're so good.
No, honestly, big them up. Tennis is literally one of my favourite sports to play. It's frustrating.
Wicked. Yeah,
Like,
because
I
you have
played
to be good.
against my scouse mate the other day, right? I was 3-0 up in the first set. He went, bloody hell, Gilly, I didn't know you were this good. Like, and I was like, it's all right, my head will go in a minute.
Yeah.
Lost 5 in a row, 5-3.
The end
Six-
starts
lost
getting
6-4,
in your head.
and then lost the next set 6-4 as well. And I was so sweating and fuming. But it was wicked. I
Summer,
loved it.
man. Let's do it.
Right, let's go. I'm there.
Paddle.
James
yeah,
is
And
paddle.
paddle, I'm ready for
I wanna get
paddle.
involved
Got
in
my
paddle. I
back
never
there
played
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
my back there as well. Yeah, I love a bit of racket sports. Real Madrid are hijacking the Zubimendi deal, says Moad. How do you feel about this one? Because, you know, you were giving it to me about Zubi do and all that stuff.
I never
What about
said that. I never
Zubi
said
do
that.
to you,
No,
fella?
wait a minute, I
Where
didn't
is
say
it?
that.
Look at Robbie back.
No,
No, no.
Zubi-
Yeah, yeah, back. No, Yo. That's
Come
why you
on,
never said
stand
them
on
things.
business.
Now it's you.
I never said it was definite, you know.
Frightened.
I know.
You've seen what you can
He's
be
like,
like.
I know in his
Zubimendi.
AFTV meetings, he's going, Cecil, we don't get this brother, you know, in trouble. You know?
And they filmed the promo video already,
That's
mate.
what I'm saying, bro. I've seen Cecil in some of the things.
We are identifying other targets out there right now.
You're
Now,
in
listen,
trouble.
I still think. Listen, who knows? I can't say 100%. When Real Madrid start coming in, you got to be threatening. I still think he'll come to Arsenal though. But
You know his track record.
you got to and that is the worry. You know what I mean, because he's all set to go to Liverpool and he didn't. These Spanish players nowadays seem to be wanting to stay in Spain. You know what I mean? You see Nico Williams been had offers from Arsenal, other clubs. Looks like he's going to stay. But I'd like it to be done. I was very impressed with him last night. Watched him in the game, scored. Was just that anchor in midfield, kept it moving. And sometimes in the game yesterday, which impressed me, he picked the ball up and drove through midfield as well. It looked impressive.
Starting from deep. Sometimes it's tough to be that centre back as well, isn't
Doesn't lose the ball. Yeah, it looked really, really good. I hope it gets done. But Real Madrid are floating around, and that's a problem. You know what I mean? But I still think
who does he
because
replace
when I'm looking,
is he better than Partey? Is he better than Partey's best version with the balance that he gives you?
I think what it is, right? Partey's 31, isn't it? So he's going to be, they can ease him in this season. You don't have to throw him right in. You got, that's if Partey hadn't signed his new deal yet either.
Yeah.
So, but if he signs, I think that's a good way of him coming through. But I think the advantage that Arsenal have got from what I'm hearing is that they've been sorting this out since January. The wages is apparently sorted. Real Madrid don't want to pay them sort of wages either. And I think Real Madrid are willing.
What a shock!
I think they don't. I think
don't
also.
Want to pay.
I don't think Real Madrid want to pay the fee either. They want to maybe give a couple of players in exchange and things like that.
Yeah, give us 10 million.
So I still think it will happen. But yeah, of course you've got to be worried. It's Real Madrid, man. Florentino Perez starts.
Last week you went, relax.
Depends on the pool. We have to go ahead.
Yeah, that was last week. I hadn't heard about the Real Madrid thing until this week.
No, relax now.
But I still think he'll come to Arsenal.
I still think he eventually does, but it's just funny for me to watch this play out because this is slap bang wallop time.
Said,
yeah.
said, Zubi do, where are you? Yeah, that's it. But and also, I think the thing is that nothing was going to get sorted out whilst that tournament was going on.
It's a bit of a distraction. And now the window's shut for a week.
Yeah, but now that that's finished,
More time to chat to Madrid?
I think we're going to find out by the end of this month. That's the other thing. Remember, a lot of these...
Man, bro. Just because it's happened to you all the time.
Me, mate.
Remember, a lot of these players, right, their contracts are all up at the end of this month.
July the 1st, they'll run out.
Most contracts run out at June the 30th, right? Or and I think in the case of Real Sociedad, they don't want any deal to go through until July so that they can put this onto next year's account. So,
and also they need to.
I still think it will happen.
They need to replace him as well. They need time for that as well to actually go out and buy a replacement with the money that they'll be getting in.
Yeah, I think it will happen.
Here's a question from Carnage: would you take Garnacho at Arsenal, Robbie?
Well, I've seen those links as well. Garnacho at Arsenal. I don't know, man.
I can't.
I like Garnacho. I've said it from a long time on here that I like him, but to me, I want an upgrade. I was watching Rafa Leao play last night. I was like, I want someone like that.
He's up and down, though, man.
He's up
got
and down.
Bags of ability, but
Rafa Leao, Rodrigo. I'd like to see someone like that come in. Nico Williams, not really.
Is he too similar to
Garnacho's
Martinelli?
like Martinelli, isn't it? It's another Martinelli. And I think Martinelli's better than Garnacho.
Where does he end up,
I don't see the point in getting a Garnacho, but
man.
they have shown an interest. Apparently, Arsenal have shown an interest. They say. So
I wouldn't put it past Arsenal.
But to me, not clinical enough. But I always said to you, innit, I like him as a player, as a prospect. I think he's another one of them players, a bit like Højlund at United, where too much pressure's been on him to deliver now. When he's not,
but he's actually done stuff as well.
He's obviously not quite ready yet. You know what I mean? But I do think he's going to be a top player.
Don't be surprised if Arsenal sign Sancho on deadline day like they did with Sterling last year.
Sancho.
Says Vinicius.
Sancho's not an Arsenal, not an Arteta player, man.
Not Premier League.
All right, let's move back on to Tottenham. Big Ange sacked officially.
Why?
We're hearing.
Why did they sack Big Ange? They had such a wonderful season.
I know, that's what they told you. But Thomas Frank looks like he's in the driving seat to replace him. My first question to you is, before we talk about Thomas Frank, is what is the Ange legacy now? He leaves in the last game, he won a trophy. Is he almost like a martyr figure now in terms of when they look back in 10, 15 years, they go, league was shit, but we've got a trophy.
100%. Football is about winning trophies when it's all said and done. And I think from the position that Spurs were coming from having such a trophy drought for 17 years, whoever breaks that is going to be remembered in their history forever, regardless. This is what we're seeing. Regardless of what's happened around that, i.e. 17th in the league, 22 losses, shocking, he's still going to be remembered as a Spurs legend. And he should, because he's won a European trophy for them and, put to to end a 17-year trophy run. But I do think Spurs are making the right decision. Fair play to them. You know, I've seen when you make decisions off the emotion of thinking, we won a cup, give him a bit more. Yeah. Well, no, they sacked him, Van Gaal, when he did win a cup. But I mean, like, Erik ten Hag stayed on.
Right.
So fair play to Spurs. It would have been very easy for Daniel Levy to get caught up in the emotion and just ignore what had happened in the league and say that was just a blip. But there's an equal argument on the other side, which is, why can't that be a blip? Why can't this be the springboard to something special? We've just achieved a trophy. No one thought we would. Put that season behind you. It's all in the past now. We're now a Champions League team. Let's start spending the money like a Champions League team. Let's do things different. And they could have gone on to maybe do something different. It could have been the making of them. But I think when you lose 22 games, and it's your second season, like, it's not, you ain't just got there.
Yeah.
If he just got there, I'd say, nah, come on, man.
Are you surprised that people are surprised about this? If that makes sense.
No, I'm not, because I can see why, if you were a Spurs fan, why you would be like, nah, man, I don't know, man. This 17 years without this, this is a big moment. I think this could be. You can't say it's impossible for it to not. You know what I mean? Yes, they finished 17th, but it's not impossible that he does a lot better next season. But I still think it's the right decision. It's a harsh one, but he had to go, man. He had to go for me.
Third series cancelled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Main character gone.
No recommission.
Yeah.
Cancelled, and listen, as I said, to expressions on Friday, you know, you've had your celebrations, you've been jumping up and down, everybody, Tottenham fans, all that, Levy, all that celebrating champagne. Then when the hangover wore off, they realised that the guy's actually rubbish. And they realised that they had a dreadful, dreadful season. That is the reality of it, that trophy papers over the cracks of them 22 losses. The first team ever to have that amount of losses and still survive. I remember what happened to Wigan all those years ago. For the fans, they'll say, wonderful, you know.
But they got relegated.
We won a trophy, and it's down in our history books as we won the FA Cup. But for the owners of that club, and they languish like 15th or 16th place in League One now, if you said to them, would you rather still have your status in the Premier League? They'd probably say they'd rather have the status in the Premier League. Like, he was dreadful. Like Fleck said, that's his second season. He finished off the last season badly as well. I think people forget that. Badly. Lost loads of games. Then this season, and next season, it's not the Europa League, my friends at Tottenham. It's the Champions League. That means you can't have like 1 week, because that's the other thing that people forget. All right, he had the league, and then he could even just play a sort of rest a lot of players when he was playing in that Europa League. Under this new format in the Champions League, as you saw, you literally, right till the end of it, have to be playing your strongest team to make sure you get into that top 8. Right? If you don't get into that top 8, that means you've got a playoff game and things like that. So imagine him. It could have got worse. So they had to make that decision. He had to go. It makes me laugh now. I see all these Tottenham players coming out, rallying around now. Son and all that. Thank you, you're a legend. And well, why didn't you do that last season when he's playing? The man might still be there.
That's true.
Right? Now they're all, you know what I mean?
Oh, better.
Gaffer, you're the legend. You know what I mean?
Happy to see the back mate. We couldn't even didn't beat them once.
So we all think it's fair.
I think it's fair. Listen, there's a lot of things you can look at with him. Is right. He didn't want to adapt his start. The only time he adapted, it was in that final when he went all defensive, right? But all season, when a lot of people were saying to him, "Bro, the high line thing, adapt it." Man was there standing up. No, man, I ain't changing my thing. This is how I play, and this and that. All that arrogance and stuff like that. He didn't handle the press conferences well. I mean, take away the last couple of weeks for the thing and then assess it. Because that's what Tottenham would have done.
Well, he actually won it by playing different as well.
Yeah, but that's what the hierarchy, you know, Levy and all them would have sat down and done. They would have taken away in isolation that final, and they would have looked back. Press conferences, the way he handled that, the way he handled the media, badly. He may have finished off well when he did that, but badly all season. Didn't handle the injury situation well. Didn't get the best out of players. Wouldn't adapt his style. Lost 22 games. He had to go. I think it was inevitable. And listen, let's see what Thomas Frank can do. It's a big job for him, big task. But, you know, he's not got the experience of being in the Champions League and stuff like that. But then sometimes, how are you going to find out? Without,
you got to give him a chance.
I think on paper it's a good appointment because he's been in the league. He's earned his stripes, hasn't he?
Yeah, he deserves a shot.
He deserves a shot.
I feel like Spurs is the perfect big club to try.
Yeah, he
to see if he
shot.
can, you know what I mean?
It's going to be interesting at Arsenal because, you know, like you want to hate a manager. It was easy to hate.
Yeah, you can't hate Thomas Frank. Yeah.
But Thomas Frank's what they call a likable type.
I really like him.
Although we'll still find ways to hate him. Don't worry.
What do you think of Frank?
So he's been at Brentford since 2018. He's really seen and been a part of and been leading the rise and continuous rise, really, of the West London team.
Sad moment for Brentford fans.
I think it's just got to the stage where he's gone, look, this is a great opportunity. Everything I've done. Kelleher's probably like, bro, what? I thought you just told me to. I thought you just told me to come and join
but
you.
I think that's a club like when you look at Brentford a run, they'd be expecting this. They'll have people lined up and things like. You know,
they want 10 million. That's the only thing yet to be agreed. The verbal agreement is there, but Brentford are asking for a 10 million payout basically to allow him to escape his contract.
You know what I think would have been a better appointment for them is that Glasner, you know. I think he might have been a better.
Yeah.
He's
got European experience as well.
Won Europa League.
Won trophies. I think
you know what?
because the thing is about the thing is about Tottenham knowing their fans. Listen, I know them well because we go back and forth all the time. But Tottenham fans, they want a football played in a certain style. They want to. I mean, they're very demanding, right? They see Tottenham as a huge club, right? So, is Thomas Frank gonna get long enough to?
These are unanswered questions. We don't know. Yeah,
you've got to hit the ground running.
Thomas Frank's adaptable though. He's played
4-3-3.
He's played 3-5-2. I mean 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, but sometimes Thomas Frank's style of football is very. Can be very.
But is that just him knowing? Again, he's very ingrained at Brentford as what they are. I know what we are when we play against the big. I think Thomas Frank's got a clear enough idea because he's a smart enough manager to assess situations for what they are.
Really good communicator.
Very good communicator. So I think he will understand now that, right, I'm going to a team that's just won a European trophy. These fans don't want another 17-year drought. The expectation here now at Spurs is to win trophies, whether we think now or not, and to compete.
He's a likeable guy, but I don't wish him well.
Of course you don't. And he'll be playing PSG, by the way. So imagine the start that he could have for Tottenham. He could win a trophy. I mean, they're not going to beat PSG, but he has the chance to win a trophy.
They might be tired after the Club World Cup and all them things there, bro.
Exactly.
Little time off and a couple players coming back late and thing.
He actually joined Brentford in December 2016 as assistant manager. So all in all, he's been there for
just under
9 years.
Yeah.
So it's time to spread his wings. I actually had him down as a future potential Liverpool manager one day. I really like his demeanour, but again, you mentioned that kind of playing style. It's quite counter-attacking at Brentford as well, isn't it? So that will suit him. Listen, he's the leader in a race to be Big Ange's successor. So let us know. Would this be a good appointment for Tottenham? Shout us. Moving on to international football, Portugal win the Nations League on penalties. It's fine margins, but I think we all knew when Alvaro Morata stood up.
He did not look confident at all.
He didn't look confident, did he?
He was not going to score. They've won it though for the second time. Nuno Mendes now gets another shout, doesn't he, for the Ballon d'Or?
He's got to be in there, man. This guy, yesterday. He locked off Yamal, man.
And in the last
Yamal
2
was
months,
the quietest I've seen Yamal.
Salah, Saka, Yamal. He scores.
Hey, I disagree. I heard them
say
that.
That's it. You see that now?
No. Right. So listen,
he's locked up everyone. Not Saka.
No. To be fair, I heard.
The only exception.
I know you said that, right? But I heard them saying that on TV last night. I was like, no, he didn't really lock off Saka. Saka had a lot of chances in those games.
Salah and Yamal.
Yeah.
Salah he locked off over the 2 games.
Not first 5 minutes of the second game, but yeah.
Remember Saka, there's what I think in the home game got the better of him on a few times, man, with breeze past him and had him on a yellow card. Yeah, when they said that last night, I was like, no, you lot have not.
He weren't as cut and dry, but because he just prevailed as the winner in all of these.
Exactly,
things.
But he is
the
best. He's the best left back in the world. Yeah. He's won the treble. He's been an integral part of, PSG. Scored. I mean, scored again last night.
Great finish.
Yeah,
drills it across the keeper.
Yeah, he is absolute quality, man. He's got to be in for the Ballon d'Or.
And normally
unreal,
we
isn't
don't
it?
like giving it to defenders.
Now he's won that
Sometimes
as
it's a
well.
bit
That's another thing he's won on top of that.
Nations
Hey,
League.
why can't
decorated? Might be winning the Club World Cup as well.
Nation? Yeah.
And then the Super Cup.
And then the Super Cup, brethren.
And then maybe the club. Wait.
Nah, he's
Intercontinental Cup in
Yeah,
December.
He needs to be in fresh out.
Yeah, he's up there for
Left
me.
back, that'll be refreshing, isn't it? Something
Yeah,
different.
Yeah,
To-
'cause
and
he-
to score in a final and assist.
Because it is a bit hard with the attackers. There's a few caveats to different things. Like Lamine Yamal's, like he's 17 and look what he's doing. But the accolades overall,
This guy's been
Maybe
good for
not.
the last few years as well.
Dembele has
He's
come
a-
to the forefront. Rafinha's been amazing, but then just I don't know. It's
gonna be tight.
This guy's been
Gonna be
amazing.
tight.
Unreal this
I'd
year.
love to see him get it, man. He's been amazing for the last
has.
few seasons.
And he
He's
seems like a
absolute
lovely kid
quality.
as well. Like,
And
you
the
never hear
engine on
anything
that.
bad about him.
The engine on him.
He
man.
ain't getting it.
The engine on him, man. The way he just gets up and down.
Give it to attacking man. Though.
Defends brilliantly, attacks brilliantly.
The
Hey,
FIFA want to give it to a fullback.
don't
That's
think
the
they
other
will.
question.
I'd love him to win it.
But big him up, man. It was a
And
great
Ronaldo.
finish. Great
Then
finish.
you've got to mention him. 40.
Yeah.
40
He's going to the World
years
Cup
old.
next year, isn't he?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you saw that finish, right? How many players would have just hit that straight at the keeper?
He's put it back
He
the other
guided
way.
it
And
the other way.
he's given Cucurella a little nudge as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? When I was watching that, I don't know what you thought. Did you watch the whole game as well? I'll be deadly honest, yeah. I know Ronaldo's a GOAT, yeah. But like in the two games as well, it just sums him up perfectly because I watched the one against Germany as well, 90 minutes. And I went, boy, man, he's hard. Look at him, man. He's hardly touching the ball. They don't play through him.
No.
They don't play
He's the
for
end
him.
product.
They don't play to him. Doesn't really get involved in build up. I see him running off the front into the 10 position, just get a little touch, give it to a man, have a little trot off. And I'm like, rah, man, he barely even gets a look. But bang,
Messi's the same though. a
just
little
finds a
bit.
way. And it's not like their goals like amazing, like by his chances, by his standards, they're tappings, right? But he just the knack of being in. That's by design.
Yeah.
That's
You
not.
know what?
You know what I mean? He's not
Rex,
lucky.
I was in Saudi.
Amazing.
I was in Saudi Arabia about 6 weeks ago now. Went to that Al Nassr. Went to watch them play. Same thing. The guy's like,
Don't really touch the
he
ball.
man
innit?
did no tracking back, nothing. He just stayed
But he
up
was
front.
tracking back yesterday. He's tackling.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom,
Yeah.
He just stayed
Edge
up
of his
front
box.
and just said to the man, yo, remember the old school goal hanger? And he just said, yo, just get the ball to me.
Yeah.
And they won the game.
And kept his
2-1.
run
They,
as well.
they were losing. They were losing that
Perfectly
game. That I went to watch at Al Nassr 1-0. He scored an amazing volley from outside the box to get back to. Sorry, no. He scored a little tap in, 1-1, and then he scored an
was a mad
unbelievable goal from outside the box volley, 2-1. They
Is
won
he
the
just
game.
being economical though?
And
Yeah, he's learned how to-
he's
100%.
learned how to play now
100%,
with at his age. And then the other thing I got to big him up for, I remember after the game, I was like in the mix zone and everything, right? And every single one of the players and coaching staff
Queuing up for
from the other
pictures.
team were queuing up to have a selfie with him. And he did it with every single one of them. Honestly, like, he is the GOAT,
When you
man.
see-
Like,
when you see
you were
his
in the presence
accomplishments
of
as well.
greatness.
I still
Yeah.
think Messi's the GOAT personally. But how can I not respect
40.
what he's doing? It's unbelievable. the
He's
age
closing in on 1,000 goals, man.
He's got over
and he
200
won't stop
appearances
till
for
he
Portugal.
gets it.
I know, I think he was-
Closest
what
one
we
is
all
Bernardo
know.
Silva with like 103 caps. He's got 200 and something for Portugal.
138 international goals, mate. Let
And
alone
walking or
caps.
not walking, right? Walking or not walking, he man, he
Four
played
goals and
like
caps and that.
he played like the 90 minutes of the previous game, and he scored in that as
That's
well.
what I'm saying. He scored against Germany as well.
Yeah, big goal as well. That
Nuno
was the
Mendes-
winner.
Nuno Mendes
And he
crossed it,
cried
yeah.
when
That's the
they
winning
won.
goal, wasn't it?
That's what it
the
means
winning
to
goal
him.
in that,
Still.
and that
And
goal
they were
last.
cussing him. They were going, Messi.
Yeah,
Messi.
yeah.
Did you see the clip of the German
Yeah,
fans
yeah.
there? And he was doing that.
Yeah.
He's going, yeah, come on.
Yeah,
He's
and
that
he didn't even shush
pantomime
them.
villain. as
so
well,
wasn't
isn't he?
that the winning goal in that game? Was it the first? He scored the first one or the second,
First one he scored.
right?
Yeah.
And then the one last night, they're losing 2-1. That's the equaliser that takes it to extra time penalties. Brother, the GOAT, man.
No, it's unbelievable.
goat.
And it's not just like that was another day in the office. He wanted to add to his international trophy tally as well. That's
Saw him
3
later
now.
as well.
He was
Barley.
crying on the side. And even then people saying, oh, he's crying, mate. It's not the World Cup. Get over it.
Because he doesn't know. For him, let's be honest. Obviously,
Doesn't know when the
Portugal
next
can win
one's
the
coming.
Euros, but for him, he's got to count.
He's a
He's got to
winner.
savor these moments because they are running out.
He's
Yeah.
a winner,
Time
man.
But he
The
will-
man's
and can
captain
you
of his
imagine now,
country. He's just
Robbie,
led them to another
Can
trophy.
you imagine?
Big him up.
Can you imagine for 1 second that Portugal win the World Cup?
Hey, they got a chance. Hey, they got quality.
And then he just goes, mic drop. Bosh, see you later.
They got a
Just
chance.
retire then.
Yeah.
When
But
I
you
say
say that, he wouldn't.
No.
when you look through their team yesterday,
Wicked.
right, and their squad, they got all Jota and these guys on the bench.
João Felix can't even get on.
Yeah,
Martinez, what's he putting João Neves right back for though, man?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
weird.
It's
That
both
was weird.
games he put Semedo on to
needed-
change
he
it as
needed
well. I
that,
don't know
by the
why.
way.
He's,
They got-
Roberto Martinez. He
yeah,
needs
he
that
needs
trophy because
Can
he
I
was
ask-
under pressure.
Can I ask, you see the Nations League then? Just what's our thoughts on it now?
Oh, proper trophy. Take it serious, man.
Yeah. Is it? So have UEFA done
6
something
years
good
it's
then?
been going
It
now.
is. It is something.
Is this because we kept saying international football friendlies thing? Then when it came in, as we do, UEFA's trying to get money. Obviously, look at the FIFA club. They're always trying to put more things for the players. But they've made it meaningful, and look what it meant to them players.
Better
That's
than those-
Ronaldo crying like
It's a
that.
great
Yeah.
advert
Nations
for
League.
it, isn't it?
And they've won it twice.
All
now.
you got to do is compare the two games. Andorra versus, which actually was a World Cup
qualifier,
qualifier, but, dead game. But that game, that meant a lot. You saw the tears of Ronaldo. You saw how disappointed those Spanish players looked not winning it, right? It's a big game.
But they're still European champions. Like, it's still down.
they are.
Like,
They are. And I think, listen, it's a game that means something rather than, remember what it replaced. It replaced all these meaningless friendlies.
is this a major trophy
Right.
then? In international
I think
football,
it,
is this classed as a
it
major
kind
trophy?
of has, it's...
It's a major, but if I was to compare, it would be like a Carabao Cup. It's still
It's
a
the
major.
Carabao
Yeah,
Cup, isn't
yeah.
it? That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because you got the World Cup, then the Euros,
Yeah. It's
Slash
Carabao
Copa.
Cup of, yeah.
and then this is
Is
the
that
third
fair?
tier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's better than meaningless friendlies, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Well, let's
So-
move on to the England game then, because again, a lot of
we have to?
eyebrows raised.
Do we have
We'll
to?
go
Quick
through
thing.
it. The super chats will probably be more entertaining, but it was a goal from Sir Harold Kane. He arose once more. There was obviously a few inclusions in the squad where people are raising their eyebrows. For example, Jordan Henderson still getting picked and starting games.
That's weird.
Did you see how empty the stadium was?
Yeah.
I think
whole
there was
stadium.
10,000 people in there.
Yeah, and all of them were English.
I
Because
think
they
there
had
was
to
7,000 England.
Yeah, they had to move it from Andorra, innit? Because the stadium's too small.
Yeah.
But
So they played at
everybody there
Espanyol in
was English.
Barcelona.
Spaniola.
But it's like, it's just crazy. I genuinely could not imagine. You compare that to the Nations League. I know it's a final, much bigger game, but any game England are in, you'd assume that the stadium's full out and sold
Fair play
out.
to all them
so,
Ingos. 7,000 travelling fans for a game.
I mean,
that,
weekend in Barca, it's not.
Yeah, but
it's
you got to
pretty
be
nice,
there.
isn't it?
The support for England away. I've been to many England games away. It's unbelievable.
Well, we've been there in
It's
Qatar, haven't we,
unreal.
together?
Not even just World Cups, just friendlies.
Yeah.
The support that they is
You've got a mad
ridiculous.
travelling.
I don't think there's any team that can really compete with them travelling support in Europe.
But
It's-
even
but
though,
the game though,
we talk
dreadful.
about how brutal it was to watch, coincidentally, after that, Thomas Tuchel becomes the first ever England manager to win his first 3 games without conceding a goal.
true.
Doesn't tell the full story though, does it?
Teams he's played,
Of course.
I mean, Andorra, not supposed to concede any goals against them, and I didn't think it was a very good performance by England. I thought Madueke played good. He's
Yeah,
like
he was
the
a
only
bright
standout
spark.
player. Rogers was okay, but everybody else.
It was a nice ball from Curtis
I
Jones
didn't
at
even
right
watch
back.
it. I saw the goal
Yeah.
we scored, but I didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That
for
was
the
a good
goal,
ball.
but the game was
What do you make of
dead, man.
Curtis Jones at right back? I mean, he's slotted in there
that
a
where he
couple of
played?
times. Yeah, he started at right back.
He
And
started
then
at right back?
Played the ball for the goal, basically.
Yeah. Where
was
behind
Trent?
the line. Holding
came
bench, mate.
He's on the
came
bench.
Yeah.
No, but he came
came
on.
on.
He came on later on.
Oh.
Came on.
But honestly, that game.
Yeah, try and erase it from your memory.
I
So
have,
they
I
go
already
and
have.
play
I didn't
Senegal
see it.
tomorrow, which actually is a friendly. There is nothing on that game at the City Ground. They're preparing now at
I thought it
St
was at
George's
Wembley.
Park.
Oh, okay.
And Thomas Tuchel said Ivan Toney could feature. Let's see, because
Could. He
what the
should
game
start.
demands.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should do. So if it's a friendly, he also added on to how excited he was for the future of Lewis Skelly. And listen, what's the score going to be tomorrow against Senegal then? Difficult team.
Don't know with England, man.
Just played Ireland as well. Senegal.
Probably get a little bit of a reaction, I think.
Drew 1-1 with Ireland.
Yeah.
Senegal.
Did you see Kelleher save?
No, I didn't.
The-
no.
Oh my word! Onto
But
the
there's
crossbar.
no.
Jesus.
there's-
What a boy.
I think Star scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
But there's no Mane. I don't know. I think England will win. England will win that
2-0
game.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2-0 England. I'll go 2-1. But again, even
3-1 England.
you need some kind for his own kind of reputation within the fan base. The travelling England fans, they want to see a 4 or 5. They want to, even if you concede a couple, just go out and attack. Otherwise, what are we here for, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
in Sampdoria, it was so slow. I mean, it does show you how hard it is when teams are in a low block, because they just basically locked it. But we've got a. There's no
even Tuchel himself said he
real
wasn't
lack
happy.
of
So
creativity.
he was, yeah, I did see his press conference afterwards. He said there's no point sugarcoating it or trying to hide away from it. said he expects more. Yeah,
I mean, look at the
tired
players
from
on the
season
pitch,
and
man.
that,
You got like your Cole Palmers and guys like that. They were non-existent.
Okay. Well, that game is tomorrow night. We'll speak about that on Thursday in the next show. Quick one here. Jobe Bellingham. What do we think about this one? Goes from Sunderland to Borussia Dortmund for 38 million euros, including add-ons, 15% sell-on clause as well. Sunderland's record sale. I think it's a great move. He's obviously seen what his brother's done. I'm just a little bit disappointed that both of them. I mean, listen, you don't really. Who really turns Real Madrid down? No one. I mean, Dortmund you could probably hold off on. But to get into the Premier League with Sunderland, they're going to be gutted that he's going. Obviously, got a big fee for him. But I would have just liked them both to try the Premier League first.
What do you reckon?
Maybe,
How do you reckon Sunderland will get on this season?
not great, so he's probably
So
preempted that.
you can go and play for Dortmund.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
got
playing
no
in
problem
Europe,
with this.
everything like
And
that.
they're going to look
that-
after you, your Jude's brother, like
Yeah.
you're
We
We
part
do
of
this
the
thing
family.
again. We just do it as fans, innit? It's just a natural.
What
it
we
just
want
happens.
for them.
I just
Yeah.
don't get it. Like it's these guys' careers. Like, yeah, my brother's taking this path, and you know, people saying be your own man, don't be like your brother. He is being his own man. He's still making his own decisions, and also he's got a family around him and saying, listen, we've seen what the English media like. We've seen how these men will just throw you under. Listen, in Europe, just take your time. It's a family club. We know the people at Dortmund very, very well. They look after you. It'd be a great home in for you, and like go and play your football.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to a Sunderland fan about this on one of the other shows I do.
Dougie.
Was it Dougie?
Doogie.
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
He's
But it was another guy who called in on the show that I present. And and I said, "Oh, are you gutted?" And he went, "You know what? No, he's like we're gonna get good money for him. You know, he's come here and he's been brilliant. He's put the work in, and this is what happens.
It's a great bit of business for Sunderland, number one, right? Because they can go and reinvest that. They're going to the Premier League. They're going to need some experienced players there. And also, why not follow? Listen, if I was him, I'd be like, no, go and follow in your brother's
Blueprint's
footsteps.
there.
Because your brother's done pretty well. You know, he's at Real Madrid
As a
now.
parent, like,
he's
you would-
playing for
you'd
England.
be
And that,
encouraging,
right?
yeah.
So when people say don't follow his footsteps, boy, I'd be like, I wish I can follow in his footsteps because then I'm going to be doing all right. And Dortmund have got a history of making these English players better. Jadon Sancho, look what happened. He got a big move after that. Of course, Bellingham. Gittins at the moment,
Yeah, he's
who's
doing
there.
well.
He looks
Might
like
go
he's
to
on his way
Chelsea.
to Chelsea or something. It's a perfect opportunity for
Haaland,
him.
his springboard. To
And it's
get-
been a stepping
Haaland.
stone for so many. Look at Dembele. Look at Aubameyang. Look at
Yeah.
flipping
Aubameyang,
Lewandowski.
like you
Like
said,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many players.
Yeah, yeah.
Gertzer at the time. Just there's players who go
Royce.
through there. Royce obviously stayed a long
Yeah,
time, but
stayed.
there's players that go through there. Mkhitaryan came out like
Yeah.
they've got a really good track record of you go there, you get your feet under the table. They won't always compete to win Bundesliga, but they're
There or thereabouts.
they're up there.
Europe as well.
They're in Europe.
No,
so
it's a great
Oh,
move for
great
him.
move.
and I
man.
totally agree with everything you've both just said. I would have just, because he's got promoted into the Prem.
Yeah, you
it
just
would
wanna have
been
a look.
Nice
You
to have a
just-
look.
it's more of a
How'd
little-
you get on?
yeah, but
Test yourself.
Get relegated.
But I'm sure that will come back.
And
Well,
then
that's
you're back in
probably,
the Championship.
Do you reckon his agent's gone, look, you can either give Sunderland a year, but by the time that year's up and they've been relegated, your stock might not be the same.
There you go.
Exactly,
Unless,
100%.
and then he has to have an exceptional season in a
Where he
rubbish
stands
team,
out.
which is really hard to do week in,
Can't
week
do it
out.
every
You know what I
week,
mean?
yeah. So let us know, Joe
movement.
Bellingham to Borussia Dortmund, good move or not?
Perfect.
Has he swerved the Prem, or will he still play in the Prem, or will he even go to follow his brother and go to Real Madrid one day?
Could
He could
do.
have them both playing
Could
in
do.
midfield together.
I mean,
Who
he is
knows?
completely different to Jude, which is
Yeah.
I mean,
Just a quick one on Florian Wirtz. Obviously, the latest was yesterday. I was on Talksport with Ade yesterday. 113 mil rejected. They're holding up for 118 mil pounds.
Cash.
AGT,
Not cash.
AGT.
It's
Getting a bit high now. When's this cut-off
I
point
think
kicking
it's
in?
a
Then?
mix of getting a bit high and taking a bit long. Plus, we kind of inadvertently did you a little favour with the whole Kelleher Flecken thing. Plus, we got Frimpong. So we're a bit like, now it's going to close for a week as well. So now it's going to be an extra week. And we will get the player eventually. We will just, but we're having a bidding war with ourselves.
Yeah.
No one else. It's just us
Oh,
in the
no,
room
but
at
they
the
just
casino
keep saying
pressing,
no, though. So
pressing
yeah, but it's
more.
because you want him.
It's because we're just going to have to meet the fee and
Because
pay
you
it.
can say you don't want him and just leave the table.
Just pay it. Because, I mean, I think we're so far in now to do that, though. Imagine,
Surprised
if
at how
imagine if we
expensive-
pull out and Cherki was still around, we could go for him. He's been locked up now, so it's like, well,
Better get him.
we've come this far.
Yeah,
We're
but
not going to
is
back out
is
now.
there better value out there? Is there?
So it's a valid question.
22 years of age?
Yeah.
110. He's got a decent. Listen, he's got a good CV.
Do you know what
exceptional footballer.
The only thing is with this, and me and Doyle spoke about it on Hot Topics, which you can go and watch now, is that with that price tag, it's not his fault that that's his price tag. He's probably saying to Leverkusen, like, come on, guys, just let me go kind of thing. But for me, if you don't immediately hit the ground running in the first 3 or 4 games in the Prem, you know for a fact that price tag is getting brought up.
But to me, if I was a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't care about the price.
Yeah.
Remember last season, by anyone.
J.
You had a season last year, even buy no one. So they got money.
Yeah.
So if
That's why they're still at the table.
And it's not our money as well. Like, I think Liverpool fans sometimes, because we've never seen our club spend over 100 mil, like, well, make sure there's enough for a striker.
Yeah, and they will.
Make sure we get Konate a new deal and all this stuff. Just go and spend it. The net spend, actually, at the end of this transfer window in September, when we do our transfer show.
spend now.
No, but we're going to outlay a lot of money.
Spend too.
We're outlaying a lot of money, but actually, in the last 10 years, like, it's still very decent net spend. So, listen, we will get him. We will get him in the end. But it has dragged on. May the 23rd was when that news broke that he chose Liverpool.
The thing is about it, right, is what I keep saying.
Takes time, man. Takes time.
Keep saying when you use that.
It's not Football Manager, is it?
I said to you last week, slow down. The window just opened.
Exactly.
Right? And a deal like that, a huge deal
No one's
like
got
that,
patience,
big
though.
money, that don't take... Them
340k, allegedly.
Yeah, a deal like that's not done in a week.
Yeah.
That's going to take time. You know what I mean? It's
But
going
now-
to take negotiation. Yeah, I mean, the window just opened and the window closed on the 1st of September. All right, this deal will probably get done by the end of July at least. But it will get done. What I want to ask you, actually, is your thoughts on Xavi Alonso. What if he... Because I know that's a Liverpool legend, isn't it? And now he's, just basing off of some of the things you've said recently, Liverpool legend...
Gone to your rivals, hasn't he?
A Liverpool legend going to your rivals.
No, but
manager.
The only thing is
but
that
we've
he's
known
legend,
that
he's
for
a legend
years,
at all
though.
3 of the clubs.
Yeah.
No, but how do you feel
no
about
one's
it?
got bad blood with Xabi Alonso.
Huh?
No one's got bad blood with
But
him.
you've got bad blood with Trent. And he's gone
At the
to
minute,
Real
it's
Madrid,
very raw, yeah.
right?
Xabi Alonso
But
left
Xavi
in
Alonso,
2009.
he keeps his
You know what I mean?
legendary...
And we got 30 mil for him at the time.
He keeps
And
his
he left with our
legendary...
blessing.
He keeps his legendary status.
Who?
Xavi Alonso.
Has he got legendary status at Liverpool?
Does he keep it at
Does
Liverpool?
he keep it? Of course he does. As a player, yeah.
No, just because he's gone to Real
But he's
Madrid.
now a manager.
You keep
Trent's
telling
still
us
a
about
player.
how much of a rival's...
Yeah, but
Is it-
you're comparing an ex-manager to a player.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, if it was
Trent's
an Arsenal...
still playing now.
Arsenal legend, he rocks up,
Patrick Vieira got some
manages-
respect when he came back with Palace, didn't he?
That's
Clapped him.
Palace. Palace are not our rivals. I'm on about Tottenham.
They are your Premier League rivals. aren't they?
Tottenham,
Play
man.
them-
You,
play
the
them
way you
twice every-
described...
Nah,
he
come on, have a word,
described...
Flex. He's going mad. here.
Flex, it.
He's
He
going
described...
Between you
He
two.
described Real
Oh, now you
Madrid,
wanna
right,
stay
as
out
their
of it.
deadly rivals, didn't he?
You did.
Right?
No, but
So-
you're trying to create a narrative that I genuinely don't have. Like,
Is
I don't mind
it
Xabi
because he
Alonso.
turned you down? Because remember, you lot thought you was going to get Xabi Alonso.
No,
then
do you know what? I always knew he was going there. I always, even though I lost the bet.
Is it?
I
was
always
gonna
knew
say,
he was
you
going
thought
there.
he was coming to you?
No, I did, but again, it comes back to what you said earlier in the show. How do you reject Real Madrid? You just can't. Maybe he goes there first,
Oh,
and
so
then
you
comes
understand
to
it all
us.
then?
Yeah,
Yeah, now you understand it.
That's all we were trying to tell you
A
before.
few weeks ago,
It's Real
you
Madrid.
didn't understand.
very different situations. But I can understand him as
It's the
someone
same
who's played.
situation.
Listen, he had a clause in his contract that said if Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, or Liverpool want to interview you to be the manager, you're free to do it. And we got Slot. Obviously, he did rule himself out, Xabi Alonso, but from what I hear, they've had their eyes and done the stats on Slot for a long time. So, yeah, big him up. As a player, like at Liverpool, he's one of the most majestic footballers I've ever seen. The way he can spray a pass. He wasn't great at getting back. He was a bit slow in that regard, but I'm sure he'll do well. He's like part of their thing, isn't he? Real Madrid. He's etched in the culture, so big him up. Fair enough. You don't have to laugh.
Skills with these little...
Okay. Yeah, big him up until you see
Big him up until he comes. No,
Until
I'm
you see him
joking.
in the quarterfinals and all them things. There.
Yeah.
Which obviously, then again,
Well, we
it's
already
a fair game.
bear in mind we already played him last season in the Champions League with Leverkusen, and we smoked them 4-0 at
It's
Anfield.
Leverkusen. I'm about
Okay.
Real Madrid.
All
Hey,
right, mate.
what striker do you lot going to get then, do you think?
I would love Julian Alvarez.
Do you think
Yeah,
Alvarez will
Alvarez.
leave after one season?
Unless the money is there and we give them a little
Another
Darwin
100 or
Nunes.
something.
Huh?
That'd be another 100.
Darwin Nunes
Yeah.
under Simeone works.
Yeah, it does.
That mishmash of madness,
Chaos. Yeah.
aggression works.
They only bought Alvarez last year. I doubt it.
I know, but Alvarez, you never know. He might want to come
What,
back.
for like 80 something as well, isn't it?
Yeah, paid a lot,
Yeah,
but
that'd
if not
be
him-
another, especially after what they see you pay
have
for
to pay more
Verts.
than
That'd
that.
be another.
You
They
You have to
want
pay
more.
another 100.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why this
Liverpool,
Verts
what?
thing is a bit like,
113 for Verts and another 100 on like
But
Ekatike
that's
or
what the
him.
bad man big clubs do.
True.
That's what we should act like what we are now.
Liverpool coming strong.
Nuno Mendes for Ballon d'Or. We read that one out. Not one world class African keeper in football ever. Mike Mannion.
He's
World
French.
class.
World class. Yeah, he is French. but-
He might be going to
Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
16 mil.
Mm.
Another goalkeeper as well.
because his contract's coming to an
Absolutely
end. That'd
wild.
be a good signing. He's a good keeper.
Brian says, can you guys make sense of Chelsea's transfer business and why would an agent want his client to go there? They look like they're all over the place. It does seem random.
No, I don't think they do.
I don't know,
I think
man.
they look like they're all over the place. We said that last time. The man finished 4th.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit crooked. They do all these long contracts and that with the way they really bend the rules to the absolute limit. But you can
Seems to be
say that
getting away
they're
with
putting
it.
together.
Exploit the system.
They're putting together a
Loophole
squad of
FC.
young players that, if they hold on to all of those over the next few years, they are going to have a very
Similar
good
to what
side.
Forest have done as well.
Yeah, but to me, they're, as they say in Jamaica, Gino. They bend the rules, man. Like they squeeze every last,
Loophole.
That's the aim of the
every
game, innit?
loophole.
That's the aim
That's
of the game.
why these
Gotta
lawyers
be
and
smart,
that get
innit?
paid
Yeah.
the big bucks.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, but
If Chelsea kept Kepa, you would be laughing, says a fortunate fail. I still think they wouldn't want him, though. They've tried it. and it
who'd be
didn't work.
laughing?
No, yeah,
Chelsea.
they wouldn't want him back. No.
We've asked you in the chat, by the way, is Wirtz worth 100 mil plus? No, 55% of you. Yes, 45% of you. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No, it's not. A good question, though, from Shorty. Big up. Why City spend so much and no financial fair play?
Well, I think they've got a lot of money to spend because, you think about what they've done over the last few seasons. They've won Champions Leagues. They've been in it every year. They've got money. They've brought a lot of income in.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
and I think, is it that they're trying to bring in a lot of these signings ahead of any possible problems with, the whole
Are they getting them
charges?
in now? So that
As if that charges thing ever.
mate, that's got
Again,
to come
what-
out soon, man. Because now it can't. All these signings almost laugh in the face of that accusation now.
Yeah.
So we need that sorted ASAP, please. Zubi do, where are you? Says brother.
I don't know.
Sid
In Madrid.
probably somewhere on a plane somewhere. Not
this is
North London
worrying.
though. Big up Marino and Ryan for showing Zubi how it feels to be at Arsenal and not win anything. Says Cashley Cole.
Well, he did win the European Cup, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
30 years United fan, always hated Arsenal and Liverpool, but stopped hating Arsenal after hearing Robbie's voice and wisdom. Sorry, I thought I was reading this wrong, but this is what it actually says. Still hate Liverpool though, thank God, says Eric. Well, I'm sorry.
Big up.
Hate's a strong word, man. You
I don't hate
gotta
nobody.
You can't hate the best. Ange dared and did just like the club's motto. Will go down as a legend in my eyes. I'm 25 and that's the first trophy I can remember. Come on, you Spurs, says Luke. You agree with that? Legend goes down as the Tottenham legend.
he's
that word?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
No, it's
one
fair
of them. I guess he's going to get legendary status. Sometimes you can
Martyr status almost.
be
isn't
martyr,
it?
almost like but
Yeah.
you
Higher
wanna
than
know-
a cult hero.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah.
Funnily enough, Ange finally started adjusting to game state in the last rounds of the Europa League. It's irresponsible managing to not adapt in match, says James.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, look, that's
The irony, he actually changed his style. He scored a goal, shut up shop, changed the back fight. He was reactive.
There's
what
one
peop-
other manager that
Proactive.
has not really been, adapting a lot. Lost quite a lot of games.
Ruben Amorim.
Hasn't
Yeah, I've
adapted.
heard of him.
We don't need to talk about it because
Eyes on him.
Also,
Eyes on him for
That's
next
right.
season.
Absolutely.
What do you
Big
think?
time.
What do you think? If he got off to a bad start next season,
let's say loses 6
Guess
out
so.
of 10.
6 out of 10, he'd be gone.
I would,
about
yeah.
right,
He knows himself. He said it, and rightly so. You got to show something, bro.
Don't you think-
Especially
don't
with
you
the
think he was
investment now that's going to come into the squad.
Don't you think he needs to adapt a bit more sometimes? A little bit arrogant. I understand fully that he's got his style of playing that's worked for him in the past. I understand his managers have their philosophy. But don't you think he has to sort of, especially when playing certain teams?
Yeah, he should have a different answer. I mean,
Yeah.
his thing is doing it one way, and now you look at the first time of asking where he's able to get players, look at the ones he's getting or trying to get.
Yeah.
Try to get the lap. Kuhn is in the door already. You're trying to get Mbeumo. That shows me that he's saying, listen, my thing will work, but I need certain characteristics of man. I couldn't do it with these man, which is which is a downside of being a manager anyway, because you're supposed to try and find a way. He just doesn't. Some managers are so wedded to the style, you have to accept that if you get them, that's just what it's going to be, and it can end in catastrophe, like Big Ange, but in a sense still elation, but not good enough. Or it can end in positivity when you see people like Pep who stick to what they do.
But Mamo says what people are overlooking is how the rapport that he built with the players. This is not something that can be easily replaced. The league wasn't great, it's known. But did he deserve a third season? 100%. It's not fair. Says Mamo, yeah.
No, man.
First super chat on YouTube. Big up the panel all the way from St. Kitts.
Big up.
Says Silent Cyril. Question, when will the Super Cup final tickets drop and how do I get one? I'm going Udine. What's Udine?
Udinese,
is that where it is?
That's where it is.
I don't know. You'll have to Google it, my
Get
friend.
On UEFA,
but big
get
up.
on the UEFA website.
All the way from St. Kitts, big up. Last one, Ryan says, what's going on with Verts? We've sent 3 bids in that we know are not going to get accepted. Phil, FSG are hoping the player or Leverkusen will pull out. No, I don't think anyone's pulling out at this stage. And don't forget, if Bayer Leverkusen can't agree a fee with us, he's going for free next season. So they need to sell.
He's got 1 year
He's
left.
got 1 year left.
So they need to sell whilst the iron's
He's got
hot.
1 year left and they're demanding that.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's why we're chucking in a few little
He's
low
got
balls, because
1
we're like,
year
yo,
left.
next year we can just get him for free, And they're like, all right, well, just give us
No,
5
but
more mil.
you better get him now because you know there's a team that likes getting players on free called Real Madrid.
Yes. Wait till
I
Saliba
didn't know
runs
he had
out,
a
mate.
year left. You sure?
Doyle said it was a year.
Let me just
People
double
are saying
check.
maybe 2. People are saying 2 in the chat.
That would be a
It
worry.
can't be 1 year. There's no way you'll be paying 130
Can't be a year
for a
left.
guy who's got
I
1 year.
believe Doyle. But people are saying 2 years. Okay, cool.
Maybe
2
they got
years
the
then.
option.
Maybe the option there as well. What's happening with Zubimendi? The guy's immature in the way he's handling this. He's done it to Liverpool, so why wouldn't he do it to us? Says Ju F. And it's a good point. It's what we were joking about earlier. You know, the track record isn't one of sincerity and keeping to your promises, is it? But I still think he goes there. We're having a laugh and a joke.
I think the thing that could help Arsenal, as I said, is Madrid don't want to pay that fee, right? And
What a
Real
surprise.
Sociedad will want the money. This
Yeah.
is a little bit different to the Trent thing in that, you know, they knew Trent was going on a free. But in this case, I've been reading where they're saying they'll offer money. Sorry, they'll offer players in exchange. And I think the situation in which, you know, they find themselves, Real Sociedad, they want money.
Yeah. Quickly, just before we go, Everton and Jack Grealish on loan. Yes or no? That's the
Loan.
rumour today. Loan, because they can't afford the wages.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah. New stadium. They're trying to be on the up. David Moyes trying to get him going again.
Probably stay where he lives now as well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have to move.
Be a great signing for Everton. but I
Yeah,
just
it'd be a
can't-
really good coup for Everton.
I can't see that.
And
I
also,
just feel like Jack Grealish might feel a bit, no disrespect.
I'll tell
higher.
you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. You might see some of these deals going
no, you
through
can
this.
disrespect. It's cool.
Yeah, you
cool
might
with
see
me.
some of these deals kind of going through this year because it's a World Cup year.
Yeah, players
right?
need to
And
play.
players like a Jack Grealish needs to play.
If he's got
right?
any
So
chance of getting in that
he
squad.
may take a loan somewhere where he's going to go and play week in, week out. But I think somebody like him would rather take that at a club that's in Europe.
Yeah.
He could be the perfect person for Everton.
Yeah, but it's just the
Leave
fact
it
that he
at that.
wouldn't be playing in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, I think if Villa had qualified for the Champions League, it might have been interesting if they might have tried to come and see if they could get him. Who else is in it? Newcastle? Yeah, but where would
Tottenham.
he? Spurs, I think.
Spurs.
I think I've seen rumours of
See
him
him
to
there.
Spurs. That makes perfect sense.
I could see it. Right, I think the super chats are done. Newcastle have the richest owners yet, can't spend like Chelsea and City. Should they overspend and risk a points deduction next season? I mean, no. And the owners are actually getting a bit frustrated by it all now. Forest did, now they're playing in Europe, says Ali. Right, that's the end of the show. Don't forget, Thursday we'll be back to speak about how England got on against Senegal. The transfer window will be closed then on Thursday, but I'm still sure there'll be
loads
stuff
of
to
things
talk
Still going
about
to be active.
and discuss. Big up to Flex each and every time. Big up to the Don.
Before we go, actually, let's just say rest in peace to Uriah
Yes.
Rennie. The Premier League's first ever black referee who passed away sadly yesterday, age 65. That was really sad news because I know he'd been ill and he sort of
Kind of got over
looked
it.
like he'd made a recovery from that. But yeah, that's sad news that broke yesterday. So to his family, a real significant
Trailblazer, man.
trailblazer,
Pioneer.
and we haven't had enough black referees since. So But yeah, sadly passed away yesterday.
And do you know what? He was one of the first referees I remember seeing on the telly. And I remember Sunderland played United, and McAteer and Roy Keane were about to. He was about to do McAteer, and Uriah Rennie just gripped Roy Keane up. I think he actually got like a fine for it for how he.
Young man, isn't it? Born in Jamaica.
Yeah, because he's a big guy. And he was a big guy as well, wasn't he?
Didn't take any.
Yeah, that's really sad news. He had like some
real legend. 65, way too young. Way too young, man.
Way too
Real
young.
trailblazer. So listen, big him up, and rest in peace eternally, Uriah Rennie. But listen, we'll be back on Thursday. Take care. We'll see you soon. All the best.